Carlson here with Florida in Motion and Near Disney on YouTube. And I am in the studio this evening for our Wind Down Wednesday. Hey, Elijah.
Hey there. Great to be on the show as always, as another member of Florida in Motion Realty and Near Disney.
Yeah, so we have some great topics for you tonight. We wanted to start out with some fun things that are going around in the Central Florida area, which is what we always like to do. Right now, if you go to Epcot, they're having the yearly International Flower and Garden Festival. And I was actually there last week, and it is beautiful. If you get a chance to head on over there, it just started at the beginning of March. It goes until July 5th. And the great thing about the flower festival is there's something for everyone. There really is. The topiary displays are absolutely gorgeous. They have all the different characters, and they're all made out of flowers. So I brought my children, and my daughter wanted to pose in front of all the different characters. It was a lot of fun. And then there's really cool things to do for adults as well. You can kind of take a stroll all around and try out different foods. And they have this cool thing where it's called a garden graze, and you can get a passport kind of thing, and you go around and you put a sticker on any of the different foods that you're trying. And if you try 5 or more at the end of the day, you can go to one of the kiosks and they'll give you a special treat. So that's kind of a fun, like, food scavenger hunt almost that you can do over there. And all the while, just, looking at the beautiful flowers. It really is. The landscaping there is tremendous. It's very meticulous and beautiful. And then as far as the children, if you have kids that you want to bring over there, they have a scavenger hunt for the kids. And it's kind of along the same idea as the food for, the adults. But the kids can kind of go around and find different little hidden treasures and mark them on their maps. And at the end of the day, they can bring their completed scavenger hunt to one of the kiosks, and they will also get a special little treat. So just something fun to do. And please definitely comment if you have been to the Flower Festival. Elijah, have you been to the Flower Festival?
I have not. I enjoy a lot of the things at Epcot, like the Food and Wine Festival. Haven't gone to see the flowers yet. Everything is international at Epcot.
Right.
That's the place you can go around the world in 80 minutes. It's like because of how they theme so many global hotspots. It's cool. They bring the international flowers into it as well. It's a cool thing to what was the date again on that?
So it started March 1st and it's until July 5th.
Oh, that's awesome. There's some of those things, even like the Food and Wine Festival, are like just seasonal. They go on, and it's not like you just have to plan your vacation to like just hit one particular day. So if you are in the area, that would be a cool reason to be down there, and then maybe explore some real estate while you're down there as well. If you give us a call, because Orlando and Florida itself is continuing to be the number one area in the country that people are wanting to get a residence in.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely worth checking out. And we were also going to talk about tonight. I know, Elijah, we had talked about cool things that people can do to improve their homes. And we found this really interesting article about curb appeal. I guess we wanted to talk a little bit about that, Elijah.
Yes, flowers can also contribute to the curb appeal of your home.
Absolutely.
But so we looked at this article is very interesting. See, zeal for curb appeal may pay off handsomely. Demand for outdoor features has boomed since the start of the pandemic, and they stand to earn the most at resale, according to this study. So if we are starting to see a little bit of a market shift and buyers getting a little bit more particular about the homes that they're picking with what's on the market, and maybe a little less willing to take deferred maintenance, or a little more interested in the aesthetic beauty, this could be a helpful way for you if you've got like some other homes on your street. You got really unlucky with people trying to list at the same time. You're like, well, what
Right.
can I be doing to stand out? What are
Mhm.
the current trends that buyers are wanting to see? So, enhancing your outdoor space may pay off for sure. And they've done a good job of highlighting with like a chart
Yeah.
some of the things that they are saying are the best for cost recovery, because when you're selling, you don't want to spend so much on the things that you would have enjoyed because it's kind of past the window to be doing these things for yourself. You just want to kind of be doing them for like, okay, what can I invest in that's going to help it sell fast and that will actually be getting some equity to me with that investment. So this chart is saying that standard lawn care service, if you are maintaining that, you're, just keeping the grass pretty, keeping everything trimmed, not letting anything get overgrown. Because buyers project what they see in one area of maintaining onto everything else. Like, okay, if you've done a good job of taking care of this, you've probably done a good job of taking care of the invisible things that
Mhm.
I can't see. Because sometimes we'll just be going through a showing and that first impression or that visible exterior impression can just kind of put the buyer on edge, on guard, maybe a little less hesitancy to put that full asking there because they're worried about what's going to show up at the inspection or what even an inspector might miss. So the lawn care and the landscaping you see are the two
Mhm.
number one things. Outdoor kitchen says
Yeah.
100%. So
Mhm.
that is something that they are seeing. And as well, the article says that desire for an in-ground pool or outdoor fire
Mhm.
feature
Mhm.
is very popular right now. And we see that especially here in Florida. And the return on investment for these items may not be as high as that like 200% simple lawn care, but it's still something that, as you can see, the data is showing would pay off if you could or would make that investment in your home, and trying to do that ideally before listing so that it can be that first impression. Because we as realtors, we've all been told by sellers, like, I'll let them know that I'm gonna do that, or let them know that I'll give a credit,
Yeah.
and there's just the difference between seeing it and soaking it in and experiencing it, and then just kind of being told abstractly or conceptually that, like, just visualize a pool there or just visualize a fire pit
Right.
there. So it's something that we would love to have a conversation with you about in like your specific market or area, if you were wanting to list, and just see what's the difference between me and my neighbors or the rest of the community that's selling that would set me apart.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that the things that we see have the highest return on investment are the things that everybody wants to use. Everybody wants to have a nice lawn. Most people want a patio or a new deck, and like across the board. Some people might not be as interested in a pool, but everybody likes to have the the outside of their home looking really beautiful and well maintained. And I think that's a really good point that you said. um, the the way the outward appearance definitely shows that you are taking care of every aspect of your home.
Because even if you aren't living there, it's just one of your properties, not even your
Mhm.
primary residence that you're selling. Like, maybe it's been vacant for a little while, or maybe you already moved on.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to just keep that porch swept, keep
Hmm.
that interior dusted, or just have someone, if it's a property manager, if it's someone if it's yourself, just taking a visit there periodically. Uh, just doing those extra little things, because it's easy just to let it be, hope the home will sell itself. But if the cobwebs pile up, if the leaves pile up, if the lawn gets a little overgrown,
Yeah.
it's just going to subliminally, because like, buyers always say, oh, I can look past stuff, or I can look past a little mess. They say that, but sometimes they only think that they can.
Right, because if you see a photo of the property online, which is where probably most people, are going to see the first photos of a property, and then they go see it in person, and if the photo looks beautiful and then you get there and it's kind of, hasn't been maintained, can definitely see why just standard lawn care service here on this chart
Yes.
is at 217%, because it definitely makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. The photos are supposed to be getting them in the door, but you want that opposite reaction. You want them to say, "This looks even better than the
Exactly.
photos."
Exactly. Like, it's better in person than the photos. They didn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to our next topic. I had mentioned last week things that people can do in this market to just be in the best position for buying or selling a home. And we were talking a little bit about home equity, and that also goes into what we were talking about here. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about what exactly is your home equity, and just to how it works and how people can use it to their advantage. Basically, your home equity is the actual value of the property minus any liens or your mortgage, basically any payments that you have on it. And the amount of equity fluctuates over time as you make more and more payments. And your home is an asset that you can borrow against, which I hope people understand, that you can borrow against it to meet other financial needs, such as paying college tuition or paying off some other kind of debt. And so your interest on your home equity borrowing is generally less than a credit card or a personal loan, because the funds are secured by the equity. And the interest is generally tax deductible if the funds are used to improve your home. So that's an important thing to understand. If you put and this is what we wanted to touch on, that if the more you put down when you buy the home, the more equity you have. So if you put down 20% right off the bat, you will automatically have equity in your home. A smaller down payment means less equity right off the bat. And then we can talk about how to calculate, if you're interested, how can you calculate your personal home equity. It's the equity is the value of the home minus any loan balance. So for instance, if you have a $100,000 home and you put 20% down and you're paying $80,000 on a mortgage, then you have $20,000 of equity in your home immediately, right when you start. And then the increase of home equity, so what you want to do is you want to make improvements to your home as much as possible, to add value, improvements that will add value, like things we were talking about. Maybe you put in a new deck, or you maybe are adding a pool, or anything inside. You upgrade the kitchens or the bathrooms, or anything like that will absolutely add value. And the longer you stay in the home, the more appreciation you will have. And obviously, make all your payments on time, and all these things will help you build the equity for the life of your, while you have that home. So these are important things to say, to know. And if anybody, if any of our viewers have any questions and want to know more about that, how they can personally improve their home equity, then we'd be happy to help you answer any questions on anything.
You can. There is sometimes a threshold, just depending on the neighborhood or the unit or the market. There is, you can over improve, so you want to be advised very strategically, because yes, Virginia's right that all of those things can definitely add value, but there's can be a saturation point where it's like a one bedroom condo can only go for so much in that market, in that building, in that area, before it's like, even if it's been done, if everybody else around you is like worth $200,000 for their condo, but then you like went and did like a Bill Gates budget and made it the coolest place in the world. It's just, you're not gonna like have a $500,000 condo while everyone else is 200,000. It's just, in that building, it's just gonna, you gotta worry about. I mean, you gotta just do it very strategically.
Yeah.
But then you might want to think, is this the forever home? Because then you can maybe not worry about that so much, because you're all just doing it for your own enjoyment. But if you
Right.
are thinking like, well, my life's trajectory is I'm selling this probably in like 3 to 4 years, because we like see that as like it's kind of like the average, like 4 to 7 years or something. People are going to move in America.
Mhm.
Then don't maybe you can like live without every possible one you could imagine, but it's
Yeah, you definitely don't want to make it too custom if you are planning on selling, because
right,
then somebody
definitely.
could walk in and be like, "This is not my taste." And so if you just making improvements that are kind of across the board standard.
I'm at that own threshold. I've almost over improved my condo.
Oh yeah.
I would like to like redo my whole bathroom, but
Hmm.
I don't know if that would I don't know if that would do it. I mean, I just it's just like I might, because I did everything. I gutted it.
Yeah.
And so I did everything but that.
Right.
That was me taking my own advice that I just did. And there's this little part of me that doesn't want to take my advice and just wants to do the bathroom anyway. But I just don't know if that if that equity would grow past that. But I
Yeah. I mean, definitely things that you have to consider. And again, if you're having any questions about like, what do I do? What is worth it? What is worth my time and effort? And will it really come back for me? Then, we're here to help you answer any of those questions.
And if you have any of your own like home improvement tips or strategies, or favorite parts of your house that to update, or the parts of your house that you have as of yet left updated, please share in the comments. That's fun. For me, it was my primary bathroom, but for you, maybe there's some other parts, so that might be fun to just share and let us know.
Yeah, definitely. I am curious. I love to see home improvements. I like to see before and after pictures. I know I did a lot of stuff to my house as well because it was, built in 2000, and when I bought it, it definitely needed some updating.
I wish I took more before pictures.
Yeah, but they're fun to see, definitely. And then okay. Yeah, so then we were also talking about the I know Elijah, you had talked to us about another that we were talking about seller concessions that were
Yes.
happening here.
Yep,
And
yep. That's a good way to bookend a little bit, because
mhm,
just in case you aren't going to get quite the price with that equity that you were thinking about,
right.
it's something to maybe keep in mind, that this may be a market that is starting to be less of a blazing hot sellers market, where you're going to get into those bidding wars like we saw during the pandemic. But it's still a good market, but just
Mhm,
maybe just not lava at this time. So yes, this according to this article, almost half of home sellers now making concessions to buyers.
mhm,
And so a record of 13% of home sales include a price cut and a final sales price below the list price, in addition to concessions, which can include money toward repairs, mortgage rate buy downs, which is something that we talked about in a previous week of doing the wind down. So Redfin's given this data that 45% of the home sales recorded by Redfin during the 3 months ending, up until March here.
mhm,
So we're giving some kind of concessions. Why is that? Because partially because of the rising mortgage rates, and home prices being a little, what they're calling, stubborn, because sellers are just, it's hard to just accept that these changes are happening, and
yeah,
sometimes they'll just want to kind of band together and go like, no, we're gonna try to keep that same market we've been used to. But it's, as enough days on the market start to accumulate, in some cases start to see a little bit more of that willingness to give some of those concessions that can be reasonable.
mhm,
Sometimes we want to advise buyers, just ask for things that are reasonable. It could be like, if you presented an as is contract, like we
mhm,
sometimes do, it's like you're obligated to just take the house as it is. But sometimes in that case, something comes up in the inspection that's a little more than just a tiny little touch up, or somebody needs uh, to get a little help with the financing,
Mhm.
with maybe buying down the rate like they were talking about, up to 3% of the sales price, and 97% of your sales price is pretty strong still.
Yeah.
But that 3% can be like the difference between getting the rate that that buyer can actually live with in the years going forward and being able to secure the deal. It's just something to keep in mind, depending on how motivated you are, or just depending on how hot the market is in your specific area.
Mhm. Mhm.
And something that, we got our eyes on, that 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle and the different little pockets of neighborhoods there. So we could talk to you about how necessary that might be for your particular listing, if you wanted to give us a call.
Yeah, definitely. And we definitely like to hear from our viewers. We had a question come in last week. Somebody was asking about the Lake Nona area. And so today we had an opportunity earlier to go visit Lake Nona and just see some different homes that had different price points. So kind of it's a big, it's a broad spectrum. So it's good for most people if they want to live in that area. And the downtown is super cool. And we went by one of our favorite restaurants, Canvas. So we stopped in there to check it out, and we will have a video on that for you guys next week. We're going to have it edited and then get in there and
Yeah, we did all that in response, like, to a user comment from you guys,
yeah.
and just because we really do, we read them. We enjoy when you engage with us in the chat. We enjoy when you leave a comment on Facebook, or if you're watching this as the YouTube video. It is what fuels our ideas for the future videos, because we want to just talk about the things that are going to be meaningful and desired content to you. So someone mentioned they wanted to get an idea of like the affordable housing in Lake Nona area. It's a
Mhm.
up and coming, I mean, it's a growing and expanding, hip, happening area. So we were highlighting a range of prices in there, and we're happy to share with you. We think we got some cool stock footage of some of the hip stuff there. Like we got the disco dog in the downtown area, and
Yeah, in Boxy Park
all
and
those Instagram picture traps that they have there that you just gotta
yeah,
selfie.
I know it is cool. It's definitely got a nice vibe to it, and we were able to see a lot of different properties, townhomes, single family, new construction. So there's a lot out there, and we appreciate, like Elijah was saying, we really do appreciate those comments because it gives us ideas, and we're happy to go and kind of explore areas and do the work for you guys.
So if you don't want to miss it, please hit the subscribe button or hit the like button on Facebook for our Facebook page because of Near Disney, because that's you won't miss us then.
Yeah, we're here to do those projects and go out in the field for you to give you guys a better feel of any of the areas that you're interested in the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. Yeah.
That's right.
So, well, thank you for joining us, everyone who's watching and commenting. And we are here every week for our Wind Down Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I think we covered some good topics tonight.
Yeah, just if you want to shoot a last comment while we're doing the outro, that's fine. Like
Yeah.
that happened to us one time. We kept saying, like, "Okay, guys, good, we're wrapping it up." And the
Right.
it's like, okay, no, we have fun with it. All right, so sounds
Okay.
good. We'll see you.
All
We'll
right.
see you next time.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.